Now let's get into transfer portal stuff. We talked about our coaches. Let's talk about a real, like when I'm talking about real impact player that I think people are not talking about in transfer portal. His name is LT Overton. He originally was a class, what was that, class 22 recruit, reclassified to class of 21. Or no, it was the other way around. He was
No,
23
2023. He
recruit,
was 2023.
2023, reclassified that Texas A&M, the number one recruit class in history or whatever, 22 class. He came into college at 17 years old. That's unbelievable. And he was still a five-star recruit. And look, he was buried on this depth chart by just people who are just bigger and more mature than him, right? This guy's going to be a monster wherever he goes. And it's very clear, okay, based on who is offering him, right? He's taking visits to South Carolina and Alabama. Other schools that have reached out to him, LSU, Ohio State, Texas, Florida, Georgia. That's the level of player that we're getting. He also has a brother, Kyle Overton, right? I think that's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big part of his decision, like whether his brother or not, like can play or not, like on these defensive lines. I think his brother might be able to get playing time at South Carolina. Still, his brother's still a really good player as well. But I think it might benefit. Like I think it would be more fun for these guys. I mean, we're brothers. We played football together. It was a blast, right? Just something different
Mhm.
about playing with your brother on the same field. I think South Carolina would be more of a fit for them in that aspect. Um, Whereas like at Bama, even LT might get buried for a year, or even Ohio State. So those are the schools. I think South Carolina is kind of the best fit for him. Do you have any thoughts on that, or more thoughts on LT as a player?
Yeah, I think he's a super good player. I saw him last year. He kind of got thrust in because had some injuries along the D line. He was like, so they brought in what, like five or six five-star defensive linemen that year, and they had Malik Jackson and they had Fadil Diggs and all these other guys that were like upperclassmen too, that were really talented. And he still got playing time. A lot of times it was injuries, but like he struggled in the run game for sure. But that's what's going to happen in the SEC when they're 17 years old. Not everybody's Braylon Allen, where they can walk in and just be as physically, if not more physically mature than everybody else on the field at 17 years old. Adrian Peterson, Leonard Fournette, guys like that don't really come along. And LT, because he did reclassify, he put himself behind the A ball a little bit, but at the same time, like I still flashed and that athleticism. You see it rushing the passer, that bend, that twitch is there. And you mentioned there's a reason why they have all these elite programs with an elite history of churning out draft pick after draft pick on the D line, want him badly, and he wants to go there too because he's that good. I think South Carolina would be awesome. That's where I'm kind of, I wouldn't call it rooting for because like I guess I'm unbiased. I'll talk about whatever I think it is. But I think South Carolina would be an awesome fit. Like they've had some success there with some edge players and D line. Most recently, Zach Pickens, right? Yeah, Zach Pickens.
Yep.
Going to
It kind
going to
of
the Bears.
profiles similar to LT Overton. If you think about it, just good potential like pass rusher. Now LT isn't necessarily an interior guy. He can play on the edge. Zach Pickens knows an interior guy, but uh, you know,
Regardless, you see that success, and that's obviously a nice pitch for Beamer and his staff there. Bama and Ohio State come to mind for me, because of those need at edge rushers. You see JTT and Jack Sawyer probably going to the NFL for Ohio State. You have Dallas Turner and Braswell probably going to the NFL as well for Alabama, and that's a guy that could go in there and be a really good player for both those teams for sure and help them compete for national championships. But yeah, you mentioned that Mike Overton. That's a pretty big deal. Like, there's a reason they both entered at the same time in the transfer portal. They want to play together, and like, no slight to Mike at all, but like finding a spot where both players can play and like actually play and like be developed is awesome. And I think that's a real it speaks to the character of both those players. Like, hey, we are those brothers that we love each other. We want to play next to each other and we'll go wherever as long as we're together. And I think that's awesome. And I would love to see them both tearing it up at South Carolina or wherever they end up at. But yeah, this is a big loss for A&M, I thought. Because he was a guy that like you knew year one and year two was not gonna he was gonna be playing his best football, right, in year three, year four, right, because of his reclassification, which sucks that A&M put all this effort into him and resources into him, and then he dips in the portal, and they can't really reap the benefits that he will have at these next two stops here.
Hey guys, MD here. Just here to invite you to the Redshirt Sophomore College Football Bowl pool. The link to join will be in the description down below. The winner, what do they get? A chance to be a guest on the Redshirt Sophomore podcast, of course. But to qualify for that, you got to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. So make sure you click that subscribe button down below. When you sign up, all you got to do is just pick a team, right? See here, Miami, Ohio versus App State. This example selected Miami, and they have 12 confidence points on it. You're gonna rate these games 1 to 43, and it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait to have you guys on. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Thank you.